Welcome to Recruit Like You Sell, hosted by the author of The Unicorn Path and the world's most passionate advocate for enhancing employee productivity. Here is your guide, coach, founder, and host, Bart Dunne.
Hi there. My name is Bart Dunne, and this is the podcast, Recruit Like You Sell. Let me kind of frame what Recruit Like You Sell means from my terms. It's, if you think about how we ordinarily recruit, we put an ad in the paper, we go to Indeed, or we do something up, and then we call people, and we say, hey, would you like to, thanks for your resume, would you like to come work with us? And then we come in, and they come in for an interview, and we poke them and prod them and kind of grunt, and then at the end, maybe we get somebody, and maybe we don't. And it's an uncomfortable process because we don't do it very often. Most companies will recruit when they need to. And anytime you do something when you need to, and only when you need to, it's a disruption to your routine. So what we're going to talk about is changing that whole dynamic of how do we recruit and what we get as a result of doing it. So first of all, I'd like to talk about my why. And it starts forever. I'm old, but I graduated from college in 1983. And I went to work. For a big CPA firm. And, I was packed full of ambition and wanted to do all the right things. I didn't know exactly what to do. I made several mistakes. I was wrapped full of youthful arrogance at the time. And I went, and so you go into an environment and it's not necessarily flowing, and it's pretty easy to drift into the land of being a bad employee. And I walked around, and my job was visiting other companies. I was an auditor. And you look around, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of companies now. And you walk in, and it's pretty easy to see that not everybody is geared towards high performance. A lot of workers are just saying, okay, my job is just to get through the day. And it's been that way forever. So you talk about generational situations. There's the Great Resignation and whatever they're calling the new generation now. Shame on me for being so darn old. But the young folks, hey, bless the young folks. I don't think we have a generational problem. The people today, that are entering the workforce, they've got more choices because they have more access to information. They can find jobs easier. They can jump around. They can understand what they should expect earlier. But that from the day I got out of college, my entire professional work life, almost 40 years, there's been an issue with poor performance. The Gallup poll, they're a consulting company and a survey company. They do studies, and on average, their results say that 70% of all employees are disengaged. So disengaged doesn't mean evil, doesn't mean awful. It just means that they're not passionate about what they're doing. They show up to work, and their big goal is get through the day. The worker environment is what we've created is a system. We've built this incredible, beautiful economy on mediocre workers. Imagine 70% of all employees not being that good, not being passionate about what they do. And it continues to persist. 40 years of this. Billions and billions of dollars of consultants and experts saying, hey, come do here, come do this, come walk on hot coals. This is the way to do it. Ice baths are great. This is how we're going to make everybody fantastic. But what happens is it doesn't work. We need a systematic approach. And imagine the benefits. So imagine the situation where you're competing against a typical company, which we do, with 70% of the people that are disengaged. And again, they're not evil. They just want to get through the day. Imagine competing against them with a great team, with an incredible team, a team that's passionate about each other and it's passionate about being better. The rewards. So what's happened? Why hasn't this already occurred? Why don't we have more high-performance environments? Almost none, frankly. Why don't we have more high-performance environments? And I believe it's a combination of things. First of all, life's pretty good for a lot of people without it. If you're making a lot of money with a mediocre workforce, you don't have a great motivation for change. Secondly, there's not a great roadmap. How do you do it? If you don't know, why would you try? That's the ultimate pioneering experience. That's like climbing Mount Everest without having a map or a guide. Why do that? And then let's talk about discomfort. There's the discomfort of change and the discomfort of recruiting. Recruiting for most is a painful process. I mentioned it before. We recruit when we need to. And because we do that, it's not part of our routine. It's not part of our expertise. I've heard several business owners say that recruiting is not part of our core value, our core skills. And, I suppose that's true. But imagine if you can make it that way. And that's what Recruit Like You Sell is all about. That's what we're going to talk about during this podcast is if you change the way you recruit, if you recruit like you sell, and think about the difference about how you recruit today versus how you sell, and incorporating the energy and the ingenuity and the passion and the strategies that we use to sell into the strategies of getting great people. So one of the things I believe is great people are worth more than great customers. And it doesn't diminish the value of great customers. I'm a big fan. I love customers, but we make more money from great people than we make from great customers. And retention, scalability, productivity, margin. But there's another thing. The more great people we have, the more great people we get, the more great people we make. It's a critical mass kind of a situation. So if we get one, it's good. Two, and then three, then five. After a certain level of having great people, they will build each other up. They'll make each other stronger. And I'm turning into kind of a hippie here. I'm going to do it. Peace. I believe happiness is valuable. I believe happiness is highly valuable. I live in North Scottsdale, and it's a beautiful, nice, safe, antiseptic place to live. And I see far too many people that are highly successful, or at least portray that, and they're angrier than the dickens. So I'm a big fan of happiness. So the other benefit that you get from surrounding your team with building a team of high performers is you're going to be happier. The idea of having people that you can trust and really care about each other makes it so much easier to answer the phone and not cringe thinking it's going to be a problem. So much easier to walk into the office knowing that everybody's there to make you better. So from a recruiting like you sell standpoint, we're going to take a different look at how we recruit. I believe that the only way that we can get an incredible team is to always be looking all the time, just like we sell. If we only sold when we needed a new customer, most of our businesses would be shut down. Let's do the same thing with people. So let's be ingenious, and let's be passionate, and let's track what we're going to do. I advocate that to truly win, to truly dominate, to truly outcompete that team with 70% disengagement, make building a great team your number one strategic initiative. And by declaring it the number one strategic initiative, it doesn't mean you don't have other strategic initiatives. It just means it's the most important thing. And now looking at the elements of sales, there's lead generation. So what are you doing now to get the best leads, the best candidates? And if you're doing as little as possible, if you're doing what everybody else does, you're going to get what everybody else gets. You're going to get, at best, your fair share. So we believe in the ingenuity of lead generation. We have a department that specializes in social media. So we're constantly looking to identify the right people and the right segments, and we're getting our message to them as effectively as possible and relentlessly as possible, because we believe that generating great candidates, is crucial. We're also looking at other lines of development. So I believe poaching is not a bad word. I believe poaching isn't evil. It's a little bit, it hits the ear a little bit hard, but here's the way I think about taking great employees from other places. That if an employer is fantastic and they're doing a great job of taking care of their people, you can't poach them. And if they're not fantastic and they're not doing a good job taking care of their people, they deserve to lose them. I believe in loyalty 2.0. And by the way, I got to get the book out here. I wrote this book, The Unicorn Path, which is about employee performance. It's got Recruit Like You Sell in here. I'm working on a new book, Recruit Like You Sell. Looking forward to getting that out shortly. But I believe that there's a reframed kind of loyalty. And it's the idea that, I go to work, I'm loyal to my boss. I'm loyal to my company. It's nice to be nice, and it's good to care. But make loyalty earned. So the idea of a company being loyal to an employer has always been a falsehood. If things happen, employees get laid off. It's sad. Some employers take it harder than others. But I also believe that an employee should be loyal to excellence, not to a company. Not perfection. You'll never find a company that's perfect, but be loyal to excellence. So if your company's excellence and they're putting you on the path of excellence and they care about you and they're doing everything that they can to kind of move you forward and make you better, that's where you belong. And until you find that spot, find something else. So our poaching division of our lead generation is going to do exactly that. We're going to find people that are special, that are fantastic, or that want to be fantastic. And we're going to get them jobs in places where they can be taken care of, where they can work with other people that are doing that. With regard to money, I'm a fan. I work for money. Money's a good thing, but I also believe that it's a mid-tier motivator. So money's good. If you don't pay people enough, you're not excellent. So you've got to pay the right amount. But I believe that the best thing we can do for people is to surround them with great people. So the more great people we work with, the more people that care about constantly getting better, lifting up other people around them, making their company better, and being kind and happy and nice. The more people that we can surround ourselves with, the better our life's going to be. That's what I believe is the number one benefit that you can have in a workplace, is happiness driven by being around exceptional people that include kindness as part of their exceptional attributes. Why would you settle for anything less? The concept of, George Carlin said this, and I've talked about it all the time, and I'm going to paraphrase it because he's brilliant, and I'm just going to be a paraphraser. But he says the average employer pays just enough so the employee won't quit, and the average employee works just hard enough so they won't get fired. And it's the dynamic that creates that 70% disengagement, where we are all there just to get through the day. And gradually it drains our soul. Because in the absence of an environment that perpetuates happiness and excellence, people kind of drift to their own systems. They drift to their own way. And they typically drift towards being less engaged, less interested in what they're doing. And the dynamics of groupthink, they're not afraid to drag other people with them. Hey, why work so hard? Why would you do that? come over here with us. We're not working that hard. It's good. Look, do you notice I get the same raise you do? I want to break that dynamic. And the single best way to be able to find great people, or to be able to surround a company with great, or a person with great people, is to always be looking, to be passionately looking, to know that if when we get there, that our incredible team will be able to generate the results that no one else can do it. We will outcompete the teams that insist on keeping the status quo with 70% disengaged. So let's take a look at, or again, strongly consider the idea that Loyalty 2.0, let's be loyal to greatness.
Thank you for listening to Recruit Like You Sell with Bart Dunne. If you'd like to keep the business world propelling forward with high-achieving employees, please support the show by rating us on your favorite podcast player. Engage with us. If you have ideas or questions, send an email to foxden@recruitlikeyouSell.com or visit our Foxden page at www.recruitlikeyouSell.com. We'd love to talk about your question on the show. This has been a T-Door production. Music by DJ Freedom.